Hello friends, being a doctor, medical education has been my favorite topic. My various YouTube videos are mostly focused around medical education and the medical fraternity. NEET we are all talking about, and now the ordinance of by the union government has also been issued. The ordinance has created more confusion than making a solution. Let us discuss the topic. The present article in Times of India has been written by our renowned Dr. Devi Shetty. He is well-known cardiac surgeon and chairman and founder of Narayan Health. So, NEET, National Entrance Eligibility Test. As Dr. Devi Shetty has written, and we all know, the NEET concept was discussed and conceptualized somewhere around 2010. The idea behind it was that there should be a fair and simple test on the line of SAT and GRE and TOEFL, so that a ranking is created and medical colleges can select the candidates from this list on the merit. Now, as Dr. Shetty has written, though it was conceptualized somewhere in 2010 and now it's 2016, there has been a delay, a lot of delay. The reason being the lack of political will. Sometimes I feel now we know GST bill is hanging for quite a long time due to fight between the two national parties, and if we think on the same line, even NEET is something on the lines of GST, which is going to make India a one platform just like GST. It is also one of the creations by good doctors and brains behind it. Creating a NEET has not been a so now lack of political will has been seen in many cases, including GST as well as the NEET. It is thanks to the Supreme Court that now we can see NEET being implemented in this year or maximum by next year. And there are various reasons why the political will is not coming. We'll discuss it later in the article. So the student community, and I thank the Supreme Court for bringing the NEET. The author himself says that there has been a lot of opposition to it, and the reason has been very simple. He says as many as 80 parliamentarians are reported to have stakes in medical colleges. So that's a very fair reason why politicians are on one pretext or the other, on one excuse or the other, English, regional language, students are not prepared, and blah blah blah. So we know our politicians, so let's not talk about politicians in this beautiful article. He further says there are the total number of MBBS seats, as that can be seen in the website of the Medical Council of India, is 49,990. We can say it roughly 50,000, and out of these 25,330 are in government medical colleges. So, and the remaining 24,660 are in private. So to make it simple, there are around 50,000 medical seats, MBBS seats, out of which roughly 26,000 are in government sector and 24,000 in private sector, to make it simple. 50,000 total, 26,000 government and 24,000 private medical colleges, to make it simple. So nutshell, we can say around 49% seats are now ruled by the private medical colleges, which is not a small thing. And the whole controversy why there has been a delay in NEET and why the ordinance has come now, this is a very surprising thing. Ordinance is not a small thing. So an ordinance coming on because of medical education is a big thing, because the stakes are very high, and that's the reason of delay. Now let's go into the nitty-gritty of the concept. One question that has been asked is whether because of NEET private colleges lose their management quota. Management quota, we all know. Management quota is one thing where a student gets admission on the basis of money, and 99% of this money is black. So will the management quota go? No, the author says no, the management quota will not go. Private medical colleges and the minority institution will continue to have the same number of medical seats as before NEET. However, admission to these seats will be based on NEET ranking, maintaining the objectives of minority institutions and spirit of private enterprise. Now we all know, let's talk other way around also. It is not easy to establish a medical college, and establish a private medical college is not a cakewalk. Getting land, making such a big infrastructure, then paying huge salaries of the doctors and the rest of the staff is not a cakewalk. Even government medical colleges are not cheap. They look cheap because we pay fees which is very reasonable, but the government is subsidizing them. It is the union government or the state governments which is paying huge bills of these medical colleges from the taxpayers' money. So the private medical colleges also need to earn something to pay such hefty bills. In a constitution, even the minority institution have been given an umbrella, an assurance that their identity will be maintained and they have the right to education. So private medical colleges and even the minority institution can select their own candidate to some extent, so that will be preserved as was the practice in past. So the NEET is not going to disturb that equation. It is only going to create a ranking, and from that rank, that list, these private medical colleges and minority institutions are going to select the candidates. The private medical colleges will have the right to impose fees as per their norms, and the minority institutions will have the right to select the candidate from their minority, but the list candidates will be from that list. And even the English is not going to create a problem, because as per the Medical Council of India, any candidate joining a medical college has to pass 12th English exam, and all MBBS medical colleges, the medium of teaching is English. So that was in past also, and NEET is not going to disturb that equation. That is very clear. And another fact that has been highlighted here is, already as of now also, already 12 states like Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Odisha are already recruiting students from the list created by the All India Pre-Medical Test. So they are not conducting their separate exam. And one thing that we all must appreciate is, of the 24,660 MBBS students private colleges, whom we have roughly said around 24,000, there are 100 entrance tests been conducted in English. So English is not a problem. What here I'm emphasizing is, can you imagine 24,000 medical seats, so many private medical colleges and more than 100 entrance exam? पागल हो जाएगा बंदा इतने सारे एग्जाम देके. And at some places it is conducted in south, then in Maharashtra, then in east, west, north, central, and the timing, clashing of timing, the geographical area. India is not a small country geography wise, and traveling is not a cakewalk. And we must be very clear that most of the 60 to 70% of the students are from the middle class. So, and student is a student, and the kharcha is borne by the parents. So, in the case of merit, so we must have to look after the expenses also, and the harassment that a person, student, and the family goes traveling so wide geographical areas, and the hefty amount of entrance test, and more than the fees of the entrance test, it is the traveling part, its expenses, time, and harassment that goes. So there has to be a NEET exam, entrance exam, central, one exam, one exam for the medical entrance, so that there is no, so no one has to travel whole India. Just somebody must have to travel just maximum 500 kilometers from its hometown or its city, and you are entering the pool of 50,000 medical seats. So just by giving one exam, you can scale yourself for 50,000 medical seats, be it in private or government. And if you can afford it, enter the private. If not, wait for the next opportunity next year. Now, other thing that has been already seen, the medical entrance exams so far been conducted by private medical colleges is not based on any specific syllabus. The author has highlighted, like in CMC Vellore, St. John's Medical College, they have their own set of questions, and the entrance exam is very different from the rest of the entrance exam. So there is no prescribed syllabus. At least when we have NEET, we'll have one syllabi, one exam. So all the medical students, irrespective of the geography and the type of medical colleges that are coming, will have one platform. If they have entered from one platform, so they will be at par at the national level. Going to other aspects of the article, so this has been made clear now with respect to private medical colleges and minority institutions, the NEET is not going to disturb the equation. Now, why NEET has not been held this time, and why the ordinance has come? It's not a good thing. I will not appreciate the ordinance. Now, time given for preparing for the exam is the same for everyone, standardizing condition for everybody. No, if the NEET is held this time, already PILA has been filed in Supreme Court. Let's see what happens with respect to that ordinance. So, God has given an opportunity to have a single platform. Let's make it to it. No, the time is same for everyone. It's an entrance exam, not a exam which you are going to attain a degree. So the toppers will get. Now the time is standard for everyone. So whoever is at the top will take the medical seat. So one should not think that the time is less. For entrance exam, to be very frank, even if you have 1 year, time will be less. So time should not be a constraint. So NEET should be held this time. If somehow it's not been held this time, definitely it should not be delayed any further, and in 2000 it should definitely be held. Even now also, after the ordinance has been declared, effort should be made if it could be held this time. Thanks to the author for writing such a good article. Thank you.